Hillary, if you're watching this, I've got more money than you do, but I'm down here spending it on these people, not stealing it from them like you are.
We have seen unprecedented bias against Donald Trump and his supporters in the last year and a half during this campaign. But on the issue of the Clinton Foundation stealing close to $2 billion of Haitian aid relief, even the Washington Post, the New York Times have admitted they did it. But they say it was a mistake or they screwed up. And we've got Chelsea's emails to her credit saying, thousands are dying, Mom and Dad. We got to give them the money. 97+% of the money they were given never got there. The Clintons only give about 3% to 5%, depending on the year, of the money they raise to charity as well. This is truly monstrous. It is so diabolical. So after the hurricane hit over a week ago, I began to talk to the crew about trying to get into Haiti, but no commercial aircraft were going in. And then out of the blue, Gary Haven, a billionaire, patriot, friend of the show, called me about a week ago and he said, you know, I fly aid missions in every week. And I've been doing it since the earthquake hit 5 years ago. And he said, would you like to come on your crew? And I said, absolutely. We were just trying to get a crew in there. I hadn't thought of you. And Gary got them into the country for 5 days. And I've been watching since they got back last night, hours of this footage. And it's so staggering. It's so haunting that I don't even feel worthy to try to bring this info out, try to help these people. I mean, they've got footage of people dying. The UN there letting children die and not even fly them 30 minutes to the capital of Haiti. I've got private planes coming in with food that basically the UN takes control of. I have got footage of the public almost rioting when they hear the name Bill Clinton or Hillary Clinton because they know they represented Haiti for several years and took the money from good Americans and others that gave it. We are going through hours of footage. I've got Gary Haven, the pilot, on tomorrow with our crew that was there, Joe Biggs and Michael Zimmerman. Here is just a few clips of what's coming up. Just to grasp the true horror of this and the loss of humanity and 10,000 people dying of cholera and other diseases because the UN used the water supply that was set up as a latrine to crap in. Attention needs to be drawn to the disaster that we've seen in Haiti and the fact that the Clintons and the UN and other globalist opportunists only made things much worse while posing as a bunch of saviors and getting rich off of it. This is unprecedentedly evil. It needs to be exposed. That's why I'm asking all of you to share this video and to join us tomorrow, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. and Wednesday on the eve of the big debate when we expose this, because we're trying to force this out as a major campaign issue. And Trump is very close to going to Haiti himself. And no matter what happens with this election, Trump will draw a lot of attention to it and hopefully help the people of embattled Haiti. We're also going to be going over some charities that are known to give over 90% of the money to the Haitians and others, unlike the Clintons, who keep over 90%. So join us tomorrow, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., Infowars.com/show. Now, that was last night from the Nightly News, and there are a few stories like this that frustrate me to the point of 9 o'clock last night I actually blew up. I don't mean by blowing up, I just got really angry. Because my brain burns. I'm watching hours of footage of little kids dying, people that they medevac, a lot of them living, some dying, being at the hospital, watching what happened and knowing for 5-6 years the Clintons represented the whole country and stole $2 billion, which would have rebuilt the country. And people say, oh, whatever, it's just Haiti. Oh, but you're liberal, so you don't actually care about people. I have empathy. Because what happens when we collapse? What happens when we have a depression? These elites don't care about us, and then they're busy saying because I'm anti-Obamacare or pro-gun, I'm racist. Bull crap. I've given money to Haiti. I've supported aid missions because instinctively it's what you need to do. And I'm just so sick of the lies. Now, Joe Biggs has been there for almost a week. So has Michael Zimmerman shooting camera. We've got hours of this footage. A big report's coming out tomorrow. Zimmerman's the one trying to cut it all together. And the stuff we've got is beyond Discovery Channel, beyond HBO, people dying, cursing the Clintons as they die because the UN used the water system that taxpayers paid for as a toilet. And then Chelsea sending emails saying they're dying by the thousands, help them, mommy. And they say, shut up, spoiled brat. And then Gary Haven, the billionaire entrepreneur, who for years has been flying aid missions in there every week or so. I mean, every time I turn around, we can't get Haven on because he's in Haiti, just because he's connected with these people. They all love him when he lands on the tape. And you mentioned the Clintons. People start, it's like, what do you think about the Clintons? All riot almost starts. So it's worse than I thought. Joe Biggs, comments on what you witnessed, because the big report's tomorrow. Haben's coming back on. We'll spend a whole hour on this when the full report airs. Michael Zimmerman, and then to Mr. Haben, who I guess is still in Port-au-Prince via phone or Skype. We'll see what works. It's cutting in and out. But, I mean, I knew we'd go down there and show the devastation and try to bring attention, but you've got, like, the head of the Senate saying that the Clintons tried to bribe him. You've got local leaders saying how the Clintons do nothing, how they just collect all the money. And it just brings home, these people are damn evil. Joe Biggs.
You know, you try to put in your mind an idea of what it is you're going to see when you go to witness something like that. You know, I'm from Florida. I have been in hurricanes before many times. I was in Hugo, Andrew, and many others. And you think you have an idea of what you're going to see. Well, it's nothing close to what it looks like in places like Don Marie, what you're seeing right now, or Lakai or Jeremy, which are on the southern peninsula, the most affected by Hurricane Matthew. The damage is so bad. It looks like a nuclear bomb went off. I mean, I'm not even joking.
And for folks that are on radio, Infowars.com/show to see the feed for free. Go ahead.
Exactly. When you see this, you get goosebumps. Your body gets a chill because it is so devastating to see people walking down the road.
And then to know $2 billion got stolen by the Clintons that would rebuild the whole damn thing.
I mean, they're like zombies. A lot of them had trees fall on them. They've been hit in the head. They have no food. They've had no water. The
most haunting is all the photos and videos of 3-, 4-, 5-year-old kids. Their parents are dead, wandering around. I can hardly watch this.
Oh, I mean, I was sick at my stomach every day. I mean, they're so hungry that I had snacks with me in my backpack. I was scared to bring anything out because I felt bad to eat in front of them. I felt bad to drink water in front of them. I mean, quite frankly, my urine... By the way,
you lost a lot of weight.
I mean, by the way, like my urine at the end of the day would be like brown because I would be so dehydrated because I didn't want
when you got back, I mean, you weren't fat, but you lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, I didn't want to do anything in front of... I have no idea. I haven't had a chance. I slept most of the day yesterday after I left work. I mean, I've just kind of been out of it. But these people need real help, and there is complete and total destruction. And you talk to these doctors who are on the ground. You talk to these medics who are on the ground. They are furious about the lack of help.
And by the way, I didn't know that Sean Penn, I guess they're mad at him. He just grandstands, I'm told.
Yeah. I mean, they're mad and furious about the lack of help from the UN, from these different government agencies out there. The fact that they...
Well, that's the key. We're going to talk about that in a moment with Gary Haven, but we've got it on video. The UN will not medevac people 30 minutes to Port-au-Prince who are dying.
Yeah. In
fact, they try to sit as the intermediary and just get the food, I guess.
They have giant helicopters that could easily pick people up and put numerous patients that need medical attention on there, get them to the help.
But Gary Haven is doing it. Dentistry.
He's the only one
Their eyes. He's the one. He's flying doctors in. Gary, I'm told, has spent like $80 million, $90 million.
I mean, if you want to find out, you want to find a hero.
But of course, he's a white devil.
It's Gary Haven. Gary Haven is selflessly out there. You know, some people donate to stuff. He is out there. He is putting his money where his mouth is. He is literally flying into areas that don't have landing strips. These are grass filled with people with goats, cattle on it.
He's a multi-billionaire. He gives 10% of his profit a year to direct charity. He doesn't give it to fake churches. He goes and 10% a year he gives directly.
Well, he's putting stuff right in the hands of the people that need it.
Literally.
Instead of just, you know, shipping it there and hoping it gets to the people, he's hand delivering it to these people.
By the way, let's roll that camera around. We've got Gary Haven just connected on Skype. Continue, Zimmerman, while we roll this camera around. We're not trying to turn Gary Haven into an angel. The point is, none of us are. Compared to Hillary, he is. This is a pig monster that steals billions of the money as, oh, give me the money. I'm the one to give it to, and then steals it.
Absolutely.
94% they kept for themselves.
Yeah, giving no-bid contracts to their friends for millions of dollars.
Meanwhile, you guys are landing on dangerous dirt fields flooded to deliver food.
Oh,
What was that like?
You know, going right past the lighthouse.
A lot of military stuff is as scary as this.
Oh, no, this was intense. Let me tell you what. I mean, I've landed in some, you know, crappy runways before in Afghanistan, but this definitely brings a whole new level of intensity.
Let me just say, I love being associated with Gary Haven and people like you that are real. We're not perfect, but you know what? We don't sit around and call people in Haiti, you know, the N-word. We actually care about them.
I mean, we're sitting
there. We actually care about humanity, and we're going to expose these bastards.
They're like, well, the plane might bounce a few times. Gary will look back at me. He's like, but it's okay. We'll hit the runway and bounce a little bit. And I'm sitting there trying to film at the same time. I'm like, I don't want to look like I might be scared of it, but it's so intense. You're like, what is going on?
All right, we're going to go to Gary Haven. And Zimmerman, we're always cutting over. You pop in whenever you want. I know Paul's coming up, always has huge news. We'll do a full hour tomorrow. But you're in Port-au-Prince a week and a half after the big hurricane hit. Gary Haven, founder of Curves, a lot of other big businesses who I know have just given a large part of your fortune just to Haiti alone, try to help these folks. It's incredible. The video is unscripted. People everywhere hate the Clintons. They've not seen $1. What do you want to say about what we're witnessing and what's happening?
Yeah, let me say hi to my compadres there, Joe and Michael. Man, we spent a week in hell, didn't we?
Oh, yeah, it was good, though.
Gary, I can tell you get high off helping people, though, don't you?
Oh, you know, I got to tell you, this is selfish for me. That 30 minutes ago, I was holding a little baby, 13 months old, and was examining her because there was no doctors there, and she had some sort of her eyes were not focusing and they were rolling in her head, and the translator told me that the woman didn't have any money for the doctor. So I wrote a note to the clinic and said, take care of this baby for me. And that was 30 minutes ago. You know, Alex, first I want to do an overview. This peninsula that was hit by the hurricane is the western part of Haiti. It's 100 miles long and about 15 miles wide. And it's 90% devastated. There's no roofs on homes. And by the way, it rains all afternoon. And as Joe said, no food, no water. The crops are destroyed. Their animals are destroyed. The fruit trees are destroyed. And so, you know, I came as soon as the hurricane cleared Florida. My team was here. I brought 3 of my aircraft. I'm flying one of them, and I've got a couple of pilots that are taking care of the other ones. And we immediately found that we were the only people that were able to deliver food to some of these remote areas.
Gary, you've degraded a bit. You've degraded a bit at the point you were the only people. That's what we found. The UN's doing nothing. No Clinton Foundation. No nothing. The only people bringing aid in. This is bombshell. Because the big news is the UN will not fly out dead and dying children to a hospital nearby while they collect the money to take care of them. This is pure evil. Continue.
It's extraordinary. I mean, who am I with my 3 aircraft? There's 1.4 million people that are in distress right now. Probably 500,000 of them that are on the verge of starvation and cholera.
That's what you told me. If you don't fly these flights in every day, they start dying.
Yeah, there's 4,000 people on the top of a mountain that we're the sole source of food. And then we bring in all the docks and all the medical supplies. We take out all the evac with my 3 aircraft. Now, the UN has been bringing in food to other areas, but like you said, they won't bring out patients. The American military has been bringing in food, but they won't evac people as well. And the American military is leaving today. And you've got at least 1 million people without food, and everybody's going home. So it's amazing. I mean, I'm literally saving lives. I'm picking up 2 or 3 patients a day. The doctor ran out to the plane yesterday, and he said, the F word me, I am glad to see you. This woman is 1 inch from dying. That was yesterday. And that's the
by the way, we have the footage of people
I look like.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I look like hell right now because I just finished 2 missions, and I'm about to go on a 3rd mission. Because if we don't get the food out there, in fact, we got a little behind because of weather yesterday, and we had a riot at the airplane. Matter of fact, it was the day before yesterday.
It was pretty intense because I'm already on a boat coming from Don Marie back to the airstrip, which is an hour boat ride. The boat is sinking, literally. It is flooding and filling with water.
We're showing footage. There's dying people.
There's guys. There's people. We're you know, medevacing patients out. There's a guy with a blue helmet that's like trying to like shovel water out of this boat. And Gary's texting me like, you know, what's your ETA? What's your ETA? And then I jump out of the boat as we finally land. He's like, hurry up the hill. Dan needs your help. He's being mobbed. There's a riot. So I'm like,
meanwhile, the Clintons stole $2 billion from these people, and the left worships them. Man, I'm so sick of these people. I mean, I'm not. God, I tell you, I'm tired.
Yeah, I'll tell you that.
Go ahead, Gary.
Yeah. So the situation is very little help. There's a tremendous number of people in distress. And what little help has shown up are now leaving. The UN today in a paper said they asked for 120 million, got 12. If you take the 1.4 million people, that's about $10 a person that the UN is sending, to give you an idea of how desperate the situation is. Now, Alex, I'll tell you the most important thing is that the American media has done a blackout. There was 2 stories today, one of them in Time, which was actually very good. People should Google that, Time magazine, to read the story. It's a good overview. I believe that they're on blackout because Hillary is so vulnerable here. The people hate her.
That's right. Normally, this is the key. You just hit the key. Normally, there'd be coverage of a disaster like this. They won't cover it because Hillary already swindled. That's why there's no news of Haiti.
Mm-hmm.
Good point. Go ahead, Gary.
And that's a huge problem because Americans don't know what's going on here. And it's because the media know that Hillary would be vulnerable. So again, Hillary has not only stolen $2 billion, but because she is being protected by the bought and paid for media, they're not even willing to come here and tell the story. There is no ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox, CNN, nothing. InfoWars comes to town and gets this footage and tells the world, guys, we need to shame the mainstream media into their complicity.
Well, that's my next question. Is there no depth to which they will not sink?
Yeah, it's extraordinary. In the meantime, I'm committed here. By the way, 5 minutes before I got on the deal here with you, not my aircraft, but one of the volunteer aircraft went down in the ocean off the coast, and they're now they found the fuselage, and they're looking for the people.
Wow, so independent aid folks are crashing out there.
Yeah, we're flying. Joe explained it well. We're doing dangerous missions because these people are starving.
I saw the landing you guys did. That looked like something out of a movie.
Well, you got to think, though, these people haven't had food in forever. I mean, some people who are injured are traveling 7 to 9 days to get to these facilities because many medical facilities were destroyed. So
let's talk about the guy we have. We're going to show it. He dies on tape.
Right in front of me.
Yeah, we've got all this. This is, I don't even feel... I don't even feel like worthy to have this footage, and then the mainstream media doesn't even care. They're just busy worshiping Hillary Clinton, who's robbing the White House China. I mean, we'll be right back. Stay with us. Watching the guys land on dirt airfields where there's like 500-foot drop-offs with lighthouses. I mean, this is epic. By the way, it's our sponsors that make all this possible. We need everybody to. We've got free shipping store-wide, InfoWarsStore.com. We've got 25% off Brain Force. One of our other great sponsors is Solutions from Science. Solutions from Science is one of my oldest sponsors, and they're selling some of their, quote, perfect power solar generators below cost. This is their top-of-the-line model, usually $6,000. I use it in my house. I bought it at cost for like $3.5, so they're doing this as a loss leader. It's expandable, so you can make it as powerful as you want to. Normally $6,000. They're letting them go for less than $1,500. Visit PowerGridChaos.com. That's PowerGridChaos.com and get yours before they're gone. Solutions from Science, great folks. So that's PowerGridChaos.com. InfoWarsStore.com to support us there as well. We're going to do a little bit in the next hour. Paul Watson takes over from London, England. Gary, other points about what's happening in Haiti. We'll show footage of the UN helicopters. I mean, the UN does this everywhere. They will not fly people who are sick into the hospital. They're I guess, just there to get the international donations. But the Clintons, as you said, are so scared of this. What are other points that are important to show? We can also show some footage of armored vehicles with Biggs there and Zimmerman, and then what the UN peacekeepers are doing. We have people literally talking and begging for help before they die. You talked about a guy that went, 7 hours by motorcycle, hacking things with a machete, and then only dies once he gets to the hospital.
Yeah, the guy showed up, was staggering off the motorcycle once he, got up to the hospital, and the crew was actually coming out to pick me up and Michael at the little landing strip in Jeremy. And as they were leaving, they saw this guy, and they brought him inside of the hospital, didn't think much of it. As we're coming back in, we see this guy again. Now he's on a stretcher, and they're sitting there talking about how they believe he might have cholera, which also can lead to kidney failure.
Which the UN helps do.
Well, the guy's sitting there, and he seems like he's kind of out of it. He's just moving around. His
eyes are very jaundiced.
Well, we have the footage. There he is. That's
how yellow his eyes are here. You could tell he's not in good shape. His breathing's, super labored.
It was like,
he dies right in front of you.
And we walked around the corner to give them space to kind of do what they were doing with the medical team. So we go to start loading the next vehicle to take medical supplies up the hill to another area where they needed some stuff. And right as we walked back to the vehicle, we heard over the radio, come back to the stretcher, come back to the stretcher. And the medic teams ran back around the corner. I kind of waited a minute because I figured the guy had just used the bathroom all over himself. So maybe they're going to clean up the guy or whatever to help out. So I was like, I'll give them their space. So I come back around the corner, and they've got the thing right over his mouth, and they're pumping air into him. When they pull it off, he's just like a last gasp of air. Blood comes out. It's all over the place. And the guy just dies right there, and they're checking for a pulse.
Now, let's be clear. You've been multiple tours Iraq and Afghanistan. You're watching the Clintons suck the money out of this country and do all this. Was this crazier than anything you ever saw in Iraq?
I don't know about Iraq, but it definitely compares up there. I mean, there were some times, some pucker factors. I mean, especially when you're on a boat going across the ocean that's leaking, and you don't know if you're going to make it there. And, you know, after a hurricane, there's food in the water, dead animals, people. It's a feeding frenzy for sharks. So if you go down there with no flotation device, which we had none.
Wow, we're going to break in a moment. Zimmerman, I want to come back and finish up with Haven, but you've been sitting there. Other points you want to make?
Just the scale of everything, the destruction. You know, these people already don't have very much, you know, money. They didn't start at a very high point here.
And Hillary robbed them. She hired, she robbed the poorest people in the world.
Well, you know, they gave all these no-bid contracts to their friends after the earthquake. You know, $20 million to build houses, and not a single one was built. They put people in trailers that were, you know, leaching formaldehyde. It was so bad they went back to their destroyed homes because that was better than what the Clintons gave.
Watered down drugs.
Watered down drugs.
The Clinton Foundation planted a tree for Earth Day.
Yeah, there was a skull that they supposedly built, and actually their only contribution was, planting a tree in an Earth Day celebration. They claimed they built a skull, but with that money, all they had was a celebration and planted a tree.
For $2 billion.
Unbelievable.
All right, back in 70 seconds with Gary Haven, who is in Haiti and Port-au-Prince. I'm Alex Jones on the front lines of the info war. To all you so-called Democrats out there that are going to vote for Hillary, okay, that's between you and God. I tell you, you are shameful. We'll be back. All right, Gary Haven's our guest. We've got our crew back here. He's still in Port-au-Prince. The U.S. military, not bashing the military themselves, but the decision makers, Obama, won't help these people and medevac them into Port-au-Prince. Don't even do that. The UN won't do it. We have video of all this. The locals freaking out about it. Little kids hurt, little kids with broken back, people dying. But Gary Haven, a private citizen from Texas, what is the bottom line on what's happening in Haiti? I mean, I agree with you. They're totally ignoring it now. Normally they would be focused on it because I guess it brings up what the Clintons did.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. No mainstream media here. You got 1.4 million people lost their homes, have nothing to eat, and a small UN presence. The U.S. military was here. They went home today. By the way, 2 C-17s came in empty today to take out the rest of their equipment. And I'm actually having to fly my own food in here. And I single-handedly am feeding 4,000 people a day. We're having to get 4 small aircraft in there just to keep the mob fed. And if you don't feed them, they get violent, which we've had to deal with a couple of times. But I'm buying all the food I can out of Haiti with my own money, of course. And I'm flying it in. And there are a lot of good Haitians. There's a lot of good docs and nurses and EMTs that have flown in here on their own dollar. And together as a team, we're getting it done. But we shouldn't have to. We should have massive support from the international community. By the way, the Brazilians are here. They're helping out a lot. The Cubans, Fidel Castro, is sending doctors and nurses here. They're taking care of an entire village. And Obama's sending in empty aircraft, C-17s, that could be bringing in food for us. But nothing. Minimal effort. The Marines and the Air Force are here, great guys, but they have no authority of bringing these planes in empty. It's extraordinary how careless and stupid. And it's the media. The media is not telling the story where the American people would raise up and demand some action. And again, they're not covering the story because Hillary, the thief Clinton, who's stolen $2 billion from the most desperate poor people. Alex, I took a doctor from Connecticut into the bush yesterday. You know, being a doctor and being from Connecticut, I knew her political persuasion. So I very gently said, you know, Hillary's collected $2 billion and has spent 2% of it and there's no money. There's no Clinton presence here. And by the way, they're raising money right now, the Clinton Foundation for Haiti. Again, the audacity of that. And you know, I could see her eyes glaze over that her hero, Hillary, is a thief of this magnitude, stealing from the poorest of the poorest children in this hemisphere. And you know, she didn't even, her brain, it was like a Austin Powers she-bot, you know. She couldn't even fathom it. So any of our listeners that think Hillary's great, this is living proof that she has pulled off one of the biggest scams on the worst people of the planet. And it is, I'm seeing it. Joe Biggs, Michael, there, we're seeing it with our own eyes. The vast thievery of this criminal, this monster Hillary.
Well, that's right. And her followers are just delusional. They think, well, end justifies the means. We start a war with Russia, you know, then the Russian kids can be taught to be gay, so it's okay. I mean, it's just this total mental illness and criminality. Gary Haven, please pop in tomorrow with the rest of the crew. We're going to have a big report that's going to air tomorrow on all this, but it's up to the listeners to spread this to everybody. This is so important because it shows the hypocrisy and it shows what Hillary will do to Americans if there's a crisis as well. It goes to the psychology of claiming they're on this big high horse when it's the opposite. Paul Watson's coming up. I'll hand the baton to him. But great job, Biggs. Great job, Zimmerman. Great job, Mr. Haven. And I want you to come back tomorrow and tell me about some of the charities you trust that you think people should give to and try to support there and really expose what the Clintons are doing as well while helping these folks. But thank you, Mr. Haven. Be safe. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thank you, guys. God bless you.
Wow. Great job, crew. We're going to come back. But thank you so much. I know you'll be more on the news tonight, 7 o'clock Central. I'm glad you're back safe. Look, I'm not going to sit here and say, see, I told you so, that communist Chinese-style net censorship was coming to the web, because it's already here. It's being announced. The way you keep the internet open and free is you get involved more than ever. Go to Infowars.com/app. A new battleship in the fight. Infowars Live, available right now. We're looking for a crew to man it. You going to sit down and play games and be a trendy? Or are you going to be part of history? Don't sit by and let the internet and free speech be stolen from you. Take action.